as the sun peeks through the haze. Birds are chirping, serenading morning's praise. Front porch creaks as dreams fade away. America's awakened to a brand new day. Old vinyl spinning a sweet old tune. Day starts dancing under a sleepy moon. Newsprint smudges on fingers of grace. America's awakened at her own steady pace. Sips of sunshine in a coffee cup. Simple moments lifting spirits up. From the mountains to the sandy shore. Morning in America, want just a little more. Neighbors waving with a friendly rise. Kids with backpacks chasing daylight skies. Eyes cooling on a windowsill so fine. America's awakened with a heart full of shine. Old vinyl spinning a sweet old tune. Day starts dancing under a sleepy moon. Newsprint smudges on fingers of grace. America's awakened at her own steady pace. Sips of sunshine in a coffee cup. Simple moments lifting spirits up. From the mountains to the sandy shore. Morning in America, wanting just a little more. Neighbors waving with a friendly rise. Kids with backpacks chasing daylight skies. Eyes cooling on a windowsill so fine. America's awakened with a heart full of shine. Neighbors waving with a friendly rise. Kids with backpacks chasing daylight skies. Eyes cooling on a windowsill so fine. America's awakened with a heart full of shine. Tractors rumble, fields coming alive. Big wheels turning where hopes and dreams strive. Laughter echoes down the old dirt road. America's awakened to lighten her load. America's awakened to lighten her load.
Good morning, good morning. I hope you all are having a great morning today. I see AVA was the first to comment this morning, so welcome. He says hit the like on the way in. So yeah, everyone please do that. Please share this out. Let's get more of us in here this morning. I see Gary was second. Good morning. Miss PJ is here. Sharon is here. Tim Walters is here. Georgie is here. Good morning, all of you. Mismatch Menace, I see you here. Good morning. Let's see who else. Native Pride is here. Yeah, we're all doing our good mornings this morning. Joan, good morning. I see you, Joan. Laura, I see you. Good morning. Judy, good morning. Yeah. So we got a nice little crowd to start off. Yeah, 40 of us here are watching right off the bat. Thank you so much, all of you, for being here. We got 2 over on Rumble. They still haven't integrated Rumble into the Restream. What do I say? I see you, Mary. Good morning. They haven't incorporated Rumble into the analytics yet for Restream. So I have to look physically at Rumble to see everyone in there. I get as you see, Fun Laughter. We see his comment, and I do like how the GIF files from Rumble show up instantaneously. With YouTube, they got to go through like a filter or something. But with Rumble, we see the comments. I just don't have the analytics. So, there's Larry and Sansi. Good morning. Hope you guys are doing well. You've got the link. Georgie, you too. If you got any of you guys want to jump on, you can. Good morning, Mandy. I see you. Paul, good morning. Did I forget anybody? I think I got everybody. Oh, Beverly, good morning. I see you. Mary. I did say good morning to Mary. Yeah. It's a good morning here. I had a good day yesterday. It was a very productive day. Um, did a lot around my house. Georgie quit. Georgie, what are you quitting? Are you on strike? Oh, there's no man for me, or no man for Mel. If you guys are on Restream, no man for Mel. She's a friend of mine. Go on and you see her comment there. Make sure you subscribe to her. Uh, she's building a channel, and I think it's going to be really funny when she starts putting stuff out. Uh, her and I, we laugh quite a bit. Meemaw, good morning. Dwayne, good morning. I see you guys. Thank you so much for being here. Uh,
Hooah!
uh, okay, Minecraft. So last night me and the little man, we went to the drive-in. I actually still have a drive-in here in our town. It's the only theater that we have. Obviously, the base has a theater, but we only like our local movie theater, which had 4 screens, is now closed. So we only have the drive-in, and so we went to the drive-in last night. Glory went with us. She wasn't sure about it at first, but once she realized she could sit in the car, yeah, I'm talking about you. Once she realized she could sit in the car and just watch people, she's a people watcher. She was happy as could be, and we had all of our little snacks and stuff, and our blankets, and uh, I've got a crossover car SUV with a hatchback, so I backed in. We opened up the hatch, and yeah, we watched the movie that way. It was like I found the movie fun. I'm not going to be like, oh, it was a great movie or anything, because I wouldn't describe it as that. It reminded me of a lot of those movies that we used to have when I was growing up in like the 80s and 90s, where it was just a dumb but fun movie. And that's how this was. So I am not surprised that it's doing well at all, because they just don't make movies like that anymore. It didn't take itself seriously. It wasn't trying to be anything that it wasn't. So I was like, yeah, it's very enjoyable. If you took your kids or grandkids to it, you would have a good time. I see you, Kiko. Good morning. So that's my review on it. It's I mean, and what's funny is my son plays Minecraft. I don't. I don't. I know me and Slug have talked about it. We've talked about playing. I understand the world building. Like, you can build stuff in it, which I that's where where I know a lot of adults who play it. I know that's where they get into it. I know if I played, that's where I would get into it. They build castles, they build houses, they build all this type of stuff. Um, and that's a big part of the movie is building, and it's very much in line with the game. It was like there were a couple times I had to ask my son, who are these people? And he's like, oh, they're this in the game. And I was like, okay, okay. Oh, someone's jumping in. Oh, we got Larry. Good morning, Mr. Huff. I cannot hear you. um
How about now?
okay, now we got you.
It
Yep.
helps when I turn the microphone on.
I do that all the time, so yeah.
It's funny how I really should look for that little green light before I start talking, but I'm old.
Veterans Affairs says the drive-in here went from charging per car to charging per person. Yeah, no more carpool pylon. That they do charge per person. For me, it was $20, um, which again, I got no problem paying that. I do and remembered about the Cheers episode where they go to the drive-in, and Frasier had never been to a drive-in, and they're like, "Oh, you get to be Trunk Boy," and he's like, "What's Trunk Boy?" And they're like, "We're going to show you what Trunk Boy is."
We don't have any drive-ins near us. That's a thing I would like to see come back. We need more drive-ins.
I think there is. I think there is a market for it. Uh, I've always talked about movie theaters used to be an experience, and then they moved away from it, and I think that's why movie theaters started having such a problem. But they are trying to bring the experience back. I've noticed.
Yeah, yeah. They they got the reclining chairs, and they're fixing them up nice to where it is an event again. And we like going to the movies, and it's somewhat expensive, because by the time you buy popcorn or drinks and all that stuff, you spend a lot of money. So we don't just willy nilly go see anything. It really had the trailer on that we see really has to catch our attention, and because it is such an expense. I'm not just going to go to the movies for the sake of going to the movies. It's got to be a good trailer that really gets my attention and makes it something I really want to see.
That's Yeah. With this movie, like if you're not a fan of the game, or if you don't have kids, this movie's probably not going to be for you. But there were a lot of families there, and I was like, yeah, this is great. Um, you know, it, Going to the drive-in was very much a family experience for me growing up, and we used to go to ours. And ours, the one I went to as a kid, just closed down a couple years ago, like 2 years ago.
We used to go on Dollar Night. That's how old I am.
I remember I watched Gladiator at the drive-in. I was in college, and yeah, we took a cooler of beer, and yeah, it was a fun night.
Hey, that's still one of my favorite movies.
I haven't seen the second one. My son
I
has.
haven't
He liked it. Um, yeah, they did struggle our drive-in here, especially during like COVID, which you're like they struggled during COVID.
Yeah,
It
you
was
think they
because they had to close down their concession stand, which is where they made all their money. Uh, but what I like about our drive-in is they're smart enough to recognize that there's other things they can um, make money off of. So they're trying to do like an outdoor farmers market, like in the mornings, and then they show the movies at night. So
Hey, that's a good idea.
yeah, yeah. By doing stuff like that, it's like okay. Uh, Only thing is, they do struggle in the summer because it gets way too hot. Even at night, it'll get hot. You know?
Yeah. One of the theaters here, I don't know if they're still doing it or not, but for a while they started doing like a matinee during the day, and they would do throwback movies. They would do like the original Star Wars or Grease or
Yeah.
Jaws, the old movies, and you could go and relatively cheap. You could go watch those movies, and we did that a few times. That was kind of fun.
Sharon says her mom wouldn't let her go because they're passion pits. Well, if that van's a rocking, don't go knocking.
Hey, at that age, every vehicle is a passion pit, no matter where it's parked. I remember that.
Yeah, that's the thing. I think we're getting back to like bringing back some of these experiences, which I think is a really good thing. Um, yeah, we've kind of moved away from some stuff, and yeah, it sucks. And I think people are starting to realize that, like, okay, get away from some of this corporate stuff, because as things become more corporate, they slowly degrade, because it becomes about how much money can we make and how little can we spend, and things just degrade over time.
Right. And I think they push it until finally it just falls off a cliff and people want to go back to the way things used to be. Speaking of that old stuff coming back, I'm doing ham radio. I started about a year ago, and I've learned Morse code, and I'm doing Morse code on ham, and that's making a comeback. A lot of young people are learning Morse code and doing that on ham radio. I didn't
Yeah.
realize that until I started fooling with it.
there was a veteran who used to come onto the show, who was trying to talk me into it because my family, my grandfather was a police officer, and we used to sit like on the weekends. On the family would come over, and my grandpa and my mom would sit on the porch at night and have the police scanner on,
Yeah,
and we'd listen to all the stuff that was going on. And
sure.
now they've all gone to encrypted. However, if you're a ham radio operator, because you have a license, two, they use you for disseminating information in an
Yeah.
emergency, you can get the ability to listen to those encrypted channels.
Well, there you go. I remember that was a big thing when I was young. A lot of people had scanners, and they used to have to get, I think they call it a crystal for each frequency,
Mhm.
to put in there. But a lot of people had, and that was a pastime for a lot of people, just sit around and listen to the scanner, just be a nosy Karen, I guess, listen to what's going on everywhere.
Time to flirt
Right.
with sexy women on ham radios. Okay, Slug. Uh,
On
I,
ham radio. Yeah, good luck with that. It's mostly guys on ham radio. There's a few women that are into it, but it's mostly guys. Look, Skipper, I got to go get ready for church. I just wanted to jump in and say hello to everybody this morning and wish you best of luck on your stream here. Looks like you got a lot of people. That's great.
we got a good amount in here. We got about 77 watching us. Bulk are on YouTube, but Twitter is right up there. So thank you, everyone. And thank you for coming in. Always good to talk with you.
All right. I'll let you pop me out of there. Appreciate it.
Yeah, you have a good one.
All right. See you.
Who has the salt? Oh, because of Slug. Okay. That's funny. Slug. I think Slug's going to be happy that I saw the Minecraft movie. That's the thing. I think Hollywood needs to realize you don't need to have a huge budget to make a good, just a fun movie. And especially when it already has an audience. That's the thing about these video game movies. They already have an audience. Same thing with comic books. Um, but the problem is they keep thinking they have to spend 300 million to make the movie. You don't. You really don't. Um, and if what you're seeing is they spend all that money on stuff that it's like, okay, and then you get subpar CGI and stuff like that. It's like, okay, that takes you out of it. I was trying to figure out with my brother what the first movie I saw at the drive-in was. I think it was The Last Starfighter. I know I saw that one at the drive-in. And they still keep talking about making a sequel to that, which would be great. What was the first drive-in movie you guys remember seeing? Do you guys know? Put it in the chat. I'd be interested in knowing. Yeah, we were trying to figure out because I do remember it was a double feature with The Last Starfighter. I don't remember what the other movie was. And if I remember correctly, because I remember seeing that, I remember seeing Three Men and a Baby, and if I remember, that was a double feature with. It was a movie with Lily Tomlin and Bette Midler, not Beaches. It was the one where they were twins. You also hear that so many of these artists want to get paid millions of dollars to act in a movie. Well, for a while, they were getting money based upon if it went to the rentals and did well. Now with streaming, they don't get that money. So I'm not necessarily mad that they're asking for millions of dollars. I get mad if they're putting there's so many actors now who just suck, but they push them and they're paying them millions of dollars. It's like, I don't want to see them in a movie. Like, they're not that good, but yet they force them on us. Have you seen the Borderlands movie? No, I haven't watched that. Maybe I'll watch that. Um, Yoda is missing today. He's tied up at the moment. Uh-oh. Are, is he literally tied up? Was he asleep and you tied him up? They like to play those pranks on each other. Over the road trucker had your CB. Yeah, yeah. We had fun with the CB because my dad was a truck driver. So many of these artists. Yeah. First movie I saw at the drive-in was Planet of the Apes, the original. That's cool. That's cool. Deliverance, the ending scared the crap out of me. Elvis movies. Yeah, my grandma used to go to the Elvis movies. They would go to the Elvis movies at the drive-in and the what's his name? Jerry Lewis. There's TC. Good morning, TC. Good to see you. TC didn't put the thing out yesterday. He was still working on it. He was asking me questions because he wants to be correct rather than first. So, Three Stooges in outer space. First at the drive-in. I've never seen that, and we loved the Three Stooges growing up. We used to watch all their stuff. Herbie the Love Bug. That's a good movie. That's a good movie. See, there's fun little franchises like that they could do movies on, but they always want to like do crazy stuff. Last it was the Simpsons movie and Transformers. Bambi was the first movie I remember. Fun fact: the voice of Bambi ended up becoming a United States Marine. She tied him up. Hubby's account. Grease in 1978. Oh, that would be a fun one, I think, in the drive-in. Octagon, Chuck Norris at a drive-in. Wow. I did see Independence Day, and it was a double feature with Eraser. I remember that. And then we saw Twister at the drive-in, which, there's the drive-in scene of Twister. Twister is such a horrible movie, but such a fun watch. And so, same thing with Independence Day. The first half of Independence Day, when it's building up all the suspense, one of the greatest movies I've ever seen. And the second half of Independence Day, where you get the payoff of the aliens and everything, is such a piece of shit. Like that part of the movie sucks. As of tomorrow, I'll be nowhere to be found on the streams. I will be stuck in a courthouse for 2 weeks. Oh, jury duty? Yeah. I used to watch Opie and Anthony, and they used to make fun of Independence Day and how Judd Hirsch, they were like, yeah, you're playing a Jewish character, but really, Jew it up. And it's so over the top. It's like, Judd, you're Jewish. You don't have to do all that. David, my David. Oy vey. Like, you don't have to do all the stereotypes, dude. First movie I saw at the theater was the original Jaws. Totally scared. That is a very suspenseful movie. I can see how you could be scared. Buddy Holly, then Godzilla. Good. You guys remind me of some good movies I haven't watched in a while. Going with the Three Stooges theme, wouldn't Bubbles and Paint Chips and Vomit be Dewey, Cheatham, and Howe attorneys? Yeah, I always love that name for Dewey, Cheatham, and Howe. I remember, have you ever been indicted? Not since I was a baby, Your Honor. Broken Arrow. I did see that. I don't remember. I remember falling asleep to watch it. I can't remember if we rented it. I just remember like I fell asleep in the middle, woke up at the end, and Didn't know what the hell was going on. I do. I believe it was Twister and Face Off. Two shitty movies. Like, if I watch those two movies now, I'm like, these two movies are such pieces of shit. Face Off was so bad. Here's a question for you guys. Now, okay, Face Off was bad, but I'll tell you what movie was great was The Rock. I love The Rock. If it's on today, I will watch it. Here's the question people ask. Is that a James Bond movie? It's Sean Connery playing a British spy who went missing in the 70s, was sent to Alcatraz, escaped, and is still in federal custody. Is it a James Bond movie? Twister is not shitty. Oh, really? And the bottle never touched the ground. Oh, what's his name? What? He's dead now. Philip Seymour Hoffman. He was so over the top. He was great, but he was so over the top in that and any movie that tries to push Helen Hunt as the like the romantic lead. I'm like, okay, her and what's the other one? Francis. Frances McDormand. Like those two women, like whenever they try to push them as the romantic lead, I was just like, come on. They're not ugly, but it's like you can get better looking women. Like what was that one that with Mel Gibson? What Women Want? Oh my god. I was like, really? Really? He's gonna chase after her. Like, okay. The wind tunnel was hauled on a truck my cousin drove. He was also standing in the movie. That's cool. We have chaos. Yeah. I'll say this. When Twister's on TV, I have to watch it. I have to watch it. It's bad, but I have to. It's like it's kind of like watching a train wreck. When someone posts, like some of those things onto Twitter, it's like, oh, I know this is gonna end badly, but I gotta watch it. I love the movie The Rock. I guess you can say it was a James Bond movie without saying, yeah, they never said James Bond, but I think you could make a good case. Yeah, yeah. If you want me to, TC, do you know a time that it's going to be put out today? So Last Starfighter, I know I'm looking at all the movies that came out that month. I think it might have been Supergirl. I think it was a double feature with Supergirl. I know it wasn't Meatballs Part 2. It wasn't Muppets Take Manhattan. Oh, it could have been Cloak and Dagger. That's another movie. I loved that movie. I think it actually, you know what? I think it was Cloak and Dagger because I'm looking at Best Defense. That movie was okay. Electric Dreams. I don't remember that. Purple Rain. I know it wasn't Purple Rain. Everything else, as I'm looking, were not. Yeah, I think it was Cloak and Dagger and The Last Starfighter. And I remember watching The Last Starfighter. Cloak and Dagger was the second one. And I was young. I was 5 years old, so I do remember falling asleep. But that's a great movie. Dabney Coleman. He never played another character like that, but I thought that was a great movie, and it was also the kid from E.T., which was a big reason why I was in it. E.T. was the first movie I remember watching in the theater. Is Die Hard a Christmas movie? 100% it is. Do you ever go to that website where it's like, what movie should we watch? And it asks you questions, and no matter how you answer the questions, the movie that it recommends is Die Hard, the original Die Hard. The Twister sucks, but it started one of my love of storms. Yeah. Yeah, I do. I remember I also saw Deep Impact at the drive-in, and that was a piece of shit. That one I can't watch. Excuse me. 5:30 p.m. Central is when TC's video is coming out. Um, TC, if you have a clip you want me to show, send it to me on Facebook, and I'll show it. If you want to do a teaser. I'm just looking through. You guys cried my eyes out watching TV. Yeah, I did too. I was 3 years old. But I do remember going in and watching that at the theater. I'm trying to think. My grandma used to always love taking all her grandkids to the movies. So yeah, we saw E.T. at the movies. What else did we see? I remember she took me to see the Black Cauldron. Okay, Disney is intent on doing all these live action remakes, but they keep doing all the good ones, and then like as if they change them like Maleficent, like it's the same story from a different perspective. Love it. Think that's great. When they did Beauty and the Beast, I thought that was a complete and total piece of shit because it was the exact same movie that we see in the cartoon. Like I would have liked it if they would have showed it from, a different angle. And because all you're doing is reminding me how good the original animation was. So, but Black Cauldron, like people who love it, love it. People who hate it, hate it. That's a Disney movie they could redo in live animation, and they could actually probably, if they made it good, could probably make that into a franchise. But yeah, they they are too busy going for these cash grabs. Like, take some stuff and make it better. Gremlins, they've talked about doing another Gremlins movie. I did see Gremlins at the theater. Uh, I saw Back to the Future at the theater. I saw Goonies at the theater. Um, is Nightmare Before Christmas considered a Christmas movie or a Halloween movie? The answer to that is yes. It is both. Hubby's movies is Forrest Gump, Sling Blade, and boring Star Wars. Star Wars is great. It's not boring. Forrest Gump, like Sling Blade, I could watch any day. Forrest Gump, not really for me. Short Circuit, I did see both of those at the theater. Um, or actually, no, I saw the first one on video rental, loved it. Saw the second one at the theater. That was the strangest sneeze I ever heard. I can't control it. Hellraiser cheesy effects are the best. For a horror movie, they absolutely are. Like, the cheesier you make a horror movie, the better they are. And all these people are doing horror movies now, and they all do the same stuff. Like, and it's like, make them cheesy. It's okay to make them cheesy. It's a horror movie. The horror movie getting scared is supposed to be fun. Uh, Favorite movies is The Wifey's Turn, The Notebook, Perfect Storm. Again, not League of Their Own was okay. It had moments. My son loves Black Cauldron. Yeah, people who love it love it. People who don't hate it. But they should do that as a live action to make it better and try to get more people into it. I think if they did that in live action, it would do better than animation, without a doubt. That was Disney trying to get onto the Dungeons and Dragons craze. Hubby also said Wind Talkers. Wind Talkers, yeah, I enjoyed Wind Talkers. Favorite with my mom was La Bamba. That was a good movie. I saw that one on video for the first time. A Walk to Remember with Mandy Moore. Oh my God. I had to watch that with a girl I was seeing. Ugh. Ugh. uh, Last of Mohicans. I've grown to appreciate that one. And when it came out, I didn't enjoy it, but I have grown to appreciate it. I can't believe Tremors turned into a series, at least 6 movies. That's the thing. If you don't take yourself too seriously as a movie, like, people will enjoy it. It can be cheesy and still be fun. And also, don't just because it was successful doesn't mean it's gotta have a budget of 200 million. Just do it on the cheap. Be like, "Yeah, we're gonna do this cheap, and it'll be fun." Short Circuit was a fun one. I'm sure they're gonna try to, like, reboot that at some point. I'm like, "Yeah, no, I don't think you could do it as good." There was some of these movies, like, I remember when they redid Red Dawn, not as good. Like, there was something to say about the Cold War that made a lot of these movies really great. Herbie, I can make Forrest Gump and Carl. Okay, here's one thing I'll say about Forrest Gump. Jenny is one of the greatest villains in any movie, and that'll piss people off because they they don't like the fact that I call Jenny um, a villain. But yeah, to me she is. Like, see you later, Forrest. I'll come back with as a single mom with AIDS so you can take care of me. I like live action Aladdin, but the only thing I thought was bad was having Will Smith as the genie. I think if Robin Williams was still alive, he would have been great as genie. Yeah, and Will Smith. I was never a Will Smith fan. Like, I recognized early on Independence Day, Wild Wild West. What's other Will Smith? Bad Boys. He was essentially playing the same character. And it was like when people would be like, "Oh, there's a new Will Smith movie." I'm like, "Oh, is he gonna say, oh, hell no,' in it?" Like, I knew exactly what you were gonna get. So Men in Black, same character, different name. So that's why I did never really liked Will Smith. Um, I'm downloading these. Um, I saw Kentucky Fried Movie in the theater. That's a hilarious movie. So many people don't know about that movie. Daryl, yes, I do remember that. And that kid, I'm trying to think what other movie he was in. Some other movies. That's another Cold War movie. Believable. You're like, okay, like, believable for the Cold War. Even though it was kind of not believable. You were like, oh, okay, yeah, this is if we could do this, this is what would happen. Made an arcade game of the Black Cauldron. I'd play that. Yeah, Robin Williams would have been a great genie. Tombstone was great. Yeah, Tombstone was a great movie. Dances with Wolves. No, Dances with Wolves is not a good movie. No. And it won the Academy Award over Goodfellas. I'll watch Goodfellas any day of the week. That movie was great. Dances with Wolves, no. No. And Avatar is Dances with Wolves in space. Hatfields and McCoys. I've never seen it. I saw The Exorcist when I was 12. Oh, that would screw you up back then. Animal House was great. Yep. Yep. Caddyshack was great. Furious and Final Destination. Did you see the one Final Destination where you find out at the end of the movie it's a prequel to the first one? I thought that was great. The Saw movies. Okay, I think it would be great if there's a theory out there that Jigsaw from Saw is actually Kevin McAllister, and as he got older, he got into making traps and just never stopped and got more and more demented because of his family leaving him behind. The bandmaster at last week's church function, like in my housing estate, to see for Forrest Gump. Jenny was a hoe. Red Dawn. Yeah, the original Red Dawn is great. The remake, yeah. Blazing Saddles. I love Blazing Saddles. Saving Private Ryan was good. The one movie though, that Saving Private Ryan overshadowed is When Trumpets Fade. Another World War II movie. Wasn't trying to be Saving Private Ryan. It was just a World War II movie about the Battle of Hurtgen Forest, and is a great movie. I've shown that to many Marines for leadership. It's about reluctant leadership, but great movie. what's his name? Uh, um, what is his name? Timothy Oliphant plays a supporting character in it, as does Dwight Yoakam. So if you liked Sling Blade, Dwight Yoakam in Sling Blade, he plays the same kind of character. It's a different character, but it's the same kind. Halloween, when she came in calling everyone's name, they were slashed. When she said, "Cut it out," my cousin repeatedly, loudly, the whole theater cracked up. Hey, Rick. Little Big Man. It's almost like a comedic earlier version of Dance with Wolves. I don't think I've seen Little Big Man. I'll have to watch it. Scarlett O'Hara was a hoe. That's true. Judge Dredd, The Specialist were my favorites. Scarlett O'Hara was just a piece of shit. Let's be real. She was just, talk about a gold digging cunt. Sorry. I forgot I'm on stream. I can't use the C word. Black Hawk Down. Black Hawk Down was good. And any Adam Sandler. I am really excited for the new Happy Gilmore. Happy Gilmore 2 is coming out. And I love the fact that they showed John Daly as a homeless guy. If Avatar is Dances with Wolves in space, then who is Two Socks asking for a friend? He's got like a dog thing in Avatar. Yeah, he's got like a dog thing, doesn't he? If not, it's the dragon that he rides. Kelly's Heroes is a great movie. Here's another one. Cars. The movie Cars is essentially Doc Hollywood. Adam Sandler is a trash actor. I wouldn't say he's a good actor. Not at all. But I would say his movies are fun. And again, I don't think he takes them too serious. I'll tell you, you want to know one part of Dance with Wolves I loved is when and everyone forgets about this, when the captain stands up, he's like, "I just pissed my pants." It's so freaking random. Hey, good morning, John. I was watching John's stream the other day. That was a fun one. He was playing Minecraft. All right. Here, these have downloaded. I have not watched these. I have not watched these. These are TC's clips for his show later on today. So yeah, we're going to watch them. Hold on here. Here we go. Got to go into here. Okay.
And bring justice to it. Make things right for Mike Skipper Arthur, a Marine who served with distinction and honor, who now is serving with distinction and honor in a civilian capacity, who is every day that he goes there is a hell day for him because of the fact that those two people are still allowed to roam freely and interfere with his life. So, General Klingon, you have the opportunity to do the right thing and make it right now.
All right. So yeah, that is he's talking a little bit about something I've been going through. And we did not talk about this, but yes, I actually do live in daily fear. I do. So good on TC for picking that up. I never told him that I live in fear, but I do. And when you guys see this, you will 100% understand why. Because it's one thing when people do things against your safety. It's another thing when they then do that same thing against your safety and try to mess with your life and your livelihood as a part of it. He sent me another one. Let me put up this one. I also did like how General Klingon's name was spelled Klingon. Obviously, that's AI doing that. They hear Klingon and say Klingon.
Folks, the reason why this story is important is not the assault on Skipper. It's important on one level because of the assault, but it's also important on another level because of what it did to Skipper's son.
And that is true as well. The all the stuff that has happened to me. I got to take this off. Like all the stuff that's happened to me is kind of almost insignificant as to what has happened to my child. He's been victimized as much as I have. So 6:30 p.m. Eastern. That will be out 3:30 p.m. my time. Minnesota Black Robe Regiment is TC's channel, MBRR Podcast. Definitely check that out. So now you guys kind of know what's about. I'm not the one putting it out. Absolutely, AVA. And AVA knows this firsthand. AVA knows this firsthand. They have covered up things he reported. Him, AVA. And he's going to be doing stuff on this from what he's told me. Mr. Coop, John needs more Minecraft videos. What he should do is start doing Minecraft with other people, building stuff together. That's one thing that's great about Minecraft is that people can build worlds and stuff together. Shawshank Redemption is a great movie. I was talked out of going to the theater to see that by someone, and because I really wanted to see it, and they were like, "No, you don't want to see that. It looks dumb." That same, and I didn't realize how bad that person's opinion was, and then later, I think it was later on, I wanted to see Dumb and Dumber, and they told me, "Oh, I saw it. It sucks." And they talked me out of seeing it. And then when I went to see it, when it got to the dollar theaters, I was like, this is one of the funniest freaking, like, my side hurt from laughing in that movie. And I was like, how could you hate that movie? They're like, oh, that was so stupid. I'm like, really what it came down to was they got pissed off at the Hawaiian Tropics scene at the end. And I'm like, that scene was perfect. It was in line with everything else. He's like, they should have went with them. I'm like, that would have been out of character. So that's where that person, when they were in my life, I was like, I'll never take another opinion from them seriously when it comes to movies, TV, radio, like nothing. Yeah, absolutely. Please subscribe to TC. Same thing with AVA. If you can put AVAs up there. So yeah. Please subscribe. You will be shocked. You will be shocked. And what I like about TC is, the reason it didn't come out yesterday is he's sticking onto the facts. He's a good reporter, sticks to the facts. Shawshank Redemption is one of the best Stephen King adaptations there is. I've never read that short story, so I don't know if it's a good adaptation. I do know it's a great movie. Great movie. Yep, 5:30 p.m. tonight Central Time. So that's 6:30 Eastern, 3:30 Pacific. And here's AVAs. So make sure you subscribe to them. They both have stuff coming out. John, my son plays the game. He loves it. And it was for me, not really playing the game, it was very true to the game in terms of world building and the interaction between stuff. Just the very little that I know about Minecraft. borrow Lacey for your new co-host. I gotta get a chair and put it back here so then she can sit. It was filmed, yeah, Shawshank was filmed in Ohio, and it's actually not too far from where my family lives. We've talked about they do Halloween tours, but they also do tours of the place. Um, so yeah, we've talked about doing those tours. Sometimes my hands hurt. Maybe I'll get a gun and rob the foodway. Shoot the manager as a bonus. Oh my god, that is my favorite character from it. The Green Mile is similar, but it's the problem I didn't like with Green Mile. You could tell it was trying to be like a Shawshank Redemption. Like Shawshank Redemption was just trying to be itself. Green Mile was trying to be a little bit of something else. Hey, Vice, we gotta do something together, Vice. Bestie Dwayne is referring to me resigning. Coop has to replace me. Yep, it was Mansfield, Ohio is where Shawshank Redemption, and it was at an old penitentiary there. Did not watch the Green Mile books, so or did not read those, so I don't know. Yeah, I like movies that are just trying to be what they are. I always loved the Marvel movies because I love I always loved the Marvel movies because I grew up with Marvel comics. Like I remember when the Infinity Gauntlet series came out, and back then Marvel only did TV shows. Like they did the Incredible Hulk, they had done Spider-Man, they did the Incredible Hulk, and then the Incredible Hulk got canceled, and they would bring it back for mini series. So there was the Return of the Incredible Hulk, the Trial of the Incredible Hulk. They were gonna do the Death of the Incredible Hulk and that was all with Bill Bixby. I'm a little bit upset that the one guy he does like shows on Nickelodeon and Disney where he's always playing the dad. He played Thor, and I'm very upset that they haven't brought him back in any of the Thor movies or any of the Marvel movies as a cameo because he was a great Thor. He was actually right on point. They also had Daredevil in those. They were in the Death of the Incredible Hulk, they were talking about bringing in the series, the people from the series Spider-Man, and bring them into the Incredible Hulk, which would have been great, but they never did it. First episode of Reacher season was filmed in Brantford, Ontario. King did not want Green Mile and Shawshank to be at all similar. Yeah, I can see that, but I can also see where they were trying to, like, yeah, like I could see where it was trying to be like a Shawshank. Not exactly, but it was trying to. Iron Man is my fave. Yeah, those were made for TV movies. Oh, I loved them as a kid. I loved them. They don't do TV shows like the Incredible Hulk anymore. That was the Noble Wanderer was the TV trope, and it started kind of the earliest one I can remember was The Fugitive, where every week the same two, maybe three main characters would be doing something, and they would be traveling around, so you could bring in new actors and stuff every week. Yeah, The Fugitive, Incredible Hulk, Highway to Heaven. Why they haven't tried to remake Highway to Heaven, I don't know. Michael Landon was so good in his role on Highway to Heaven as an angel that he actually became one. I'm a dick, I know. But yeah, why they haven't tried to remake Highway to Heaven, I don't know. But yeah, they should try to bring back those wandering nobleman stories, because That's how you could do a series without it becoming too expensive. You just bring an actor in for a one shot. They did that with Columbo. Like I remember Columbo with Johnny Cash as a where he killed his wife and was like, "Oh, I was driving back from so and so," but he had taken a plane and he parachuted. If you've watched the Dark Tower movie, please, please, please. Was that the one with Matthew McConaughey? If it is, I enjoyed that. I enjoyed that. Matthew McConaughey and Idris Elba. I know that was a Stephen King. Is this a real beef, Georgie, between you and Coop? You guys are seriously fighting? Before that, it was Route 66. Was Route 66 before The Fugitive? That because it's very possible. And I don't live far from Route 66. In fact, I go to Roy's. I stop at Roy's almost every time I go to Las Vegas. If you don't know what Roy's is, go on to Google right now and look up Roy's. It's been in a lot of stuff. They do a lot of videos and stuff there. Quantum Leap. Oh, I loved Quantum Leap. I've actually interviewed Donald Belisario. He was the producer of Quantum Leap, Magnum PI. It's on this channel. It is on. It's on my YouTube. Go into the Veteran Nation series. It's in that playlist. I should reissue that. That was back when it was Veteran Nation with the sergeant and the skipper, because Michael Bloomling was my co-host. We probably did that version of the show for like 6 months. I was not the greatest interviewer, so I was not used to this format. So please be gentle with me. But it was a great interview. The Great Escape was a great movie. Something about me. Have you seen my baseball? Have you seen my wiener? You know what? I didn't realize that guy was the guy from Deadwood. Here, yeah. Here. I'm going to put up his picture here. W. Earl Brown. Here we go. This guy was in Deadwood, and you'll recognize him. Yeah, that's him from Deadwood right there. But he was Warren from Something About Mary. Have you seen my baseball? That was him. He looks so different. So different. Dumb and Dumber is hilarious, TC. Hilarious. Radio Flyer. I've never been able to finish that one. I've watched parts of it. So Route 66 was earlier than The Fugitive. Okay. First car was a 62 Vet, and then they changed it to 63. I thought The Fugitive was the earliest, but that was the only one I could figure. I didn't think of Route 66. So this is an actual beef between Georgie and Coop? Only a disagreement? He doesn't want me to quit and give in to the bullies? Oh. You're not fighting with anyone. The original Hawaii Five-0, I never watched it. I haven't watched the remake. Emergency 51. So, hold on here. If I can find the pictures, they just came up in my timeline. Can I find these pictures? Because I met somebody once, many, many years ago. I am not seeing them here. Where are they? Okay, here we go. It'll take me a while. Car 54, where are you? Yeah, I do remember watching that. October Sky is great. I never finished that one. Can't watch Dumb and Dumber. It's just stupid. It's not trying to be anything more than just a stupid, funny movie. Fugitive came out about a year after Route 66. Okay. Yeah, it never. Okay, so there is no fight between Georgie and Coop. Okay. You guys are just disagreeing on something. Okay, that's fine. That happens. Look at me and TC. He can't stand me. Oh, I do got to show this picture. That's me and my brother with Mr. McFeely in 1981. We got to, like, Mr. Rogers had come to do a show in our town, and like everybody was lined up to meet him. But we got to, like, my parents were like, we're not going to wait an hour to see Mr. Rogers, but Mr. McFeely was there. Like, no one was waiting, so we went up and got to get our picture taken with Mr. McFeely. Coop is my YouTube dad. I'll never turn on that precious man. Yeah, Coop is great. Paint chips threatened. Oh, paint chips threatened you. That's what it's about. Okay. See, your DMs weren't making a lot of sense to me, but now it does. I got to go through so many pictures on Facebook. But if I can find these ones, it's pretty good. And you guys reminded me of one of the shows of his that I loved. MASH. What did MASH stand? Mobile something hospital. I do remember that. Mobile Air Support Hospital, maybe. Mr. McFeely sounds like a pedo name. That's what his name was. Sandlot. Yeah, Sandlot was, a lot of people really love Mobile Army Surgical Hospital. Yep. The Sandlot is one that, like, I wasn't into when it came out the way other people were into it. It's a good movie. I remember watching it and enjoying it. But yeah, like, some people are like, that's their childhood. Wasn't for me. I watched it. I was like, okay, it's fine. Old TV series on Netflix, then have to watch beginning to the end. There's a couple that I'm like, no, I've got to finish this. Let's see. House. I had to go back. I remember watching House. I watched probably the first 3 seasons of House religiously, and then I got deployed, and it threw me off. So I went back and rewatched House. I did not like the last episode. Oh, I did? Okay. This is funny as I'm going through stuff. This is from my local Catholic church. I went there for church, and I was like, why does my church have a statue of Richard Chamberlain? Doesn't that look like Richard Chamberlain? I pointed that out to my mom. My mom loved Richard Chamberlain, and she was like, oh my God. For those of you who don't know who Richard Chamberlain was, here's a picture of Richard Chamberlain. So, there you go. You'll remember him from Field of Dreams, another movie that people loved when it came out. I watch it now, and I'm like, this really is not as good of a movie as what people said. Like, Field of Dreams, if I never watched it again, I'd be okay. But I remember when it came out, people were like, "This is the greatest movie ever." And Richard Chamberlain played the old version of the Doctor. That was his last role before he passed. Hold on, I'm gonna send a text. There we go. Yeah, if you build it, they will come. Not the greatest movie. Like I watched, if it's been on TV a couple times and I've looked at it and I'm like, yeah, not really for me. Oh, here, okay. Here's a couple more pictures of people I've met and interviewed over the years. So this here is Jim Mora, former coach of the Seattle Seahawks and the Indianapolis Colts. I golfed with him. This is Leonard Wood from the Woods Brothers. This was actually in Fontana at the race. So that was a couple good interviews of people that I've met over the years. Here we go. Here's another one. This one was actually at a press conference. That's Richard Childress. Had a nice conversation with him. And this is Ryan Newman. So that was after Newman won the race. I used to be, most of my journalism when I started out was sports journalism. I did a ton of events. Like, here we go. Here's a great picture that I took. If you're into NASCAR. So there. I got a couple of these from when I was at the race. This was Las Vegas. And I'm pretty sure that was Logano, and he won. Yeah, these were all pictures I was taking down. I forget who she was. She was a celebrity of some point, if I remember correctly. That's Dale Earnhardt Jr. So yeah, that was fun. I enjoyed doing sports journalism. That's not the picture I'm looking for. Sorry, I'm still looking for this picture. Howdy doody time. Playoffs? Who said playoffs? Yeah, playoffs. That was he was I didn't interview him. I just golfed with him and got to talk with him. And, but he was such a personable guy. And that was one of the funniest things. And there's a reason why they still use that clip. He was a personality. He absolutely was. Okay, now we're getting actually closer to here we go. This is not the picture I was looking for, but it was about the same time. That's me when I met Haley Atwell. She was super nice. Super nice. Recorded a happy birthday thing for my son, so that was really cool. But here we go. This is who I met. Now, this was at the Dubai Comic-Con. William Shatner. And what's funny is everybody was talking to him about Star Trek stuff. I'm not really a Star Trek fan. I was talking to him about the show Rescue 911. Imagine meeting a Star Trek personality and be like, "Oh, let's talk about Rescue 911." And I love that he had a cigar as well. The only thing I didn't talk about is Hey, can we talk about the mysterious circumstances of how your wife died? I also was doing, because I was still a Marine when I was doing my sports journalism when I started into it, and here is I did kickboxing when I was in Dubai. That was fun. I'd never done kickboxing before, so that was really interesting. Yep, T.J. Hooker. I never watched T.J. Hooker though. Never watched it. Waited on Jim Palmer. I'm trying to think. Who is Jim Palmer? I know the name. Oh yeah, here's another great shot. This is not a sports journalist one. This is just a great shot I took. This is the mosque of Mohammed bin Zayed in Abu Dhabi. Just a great, great looking place. That was really interesting. I took a tour of that, and it was interesting. It was the first mosque I'd ever been into. I learned a lot. Here's another fun pic. This is yours truly on a yacht in Abu Dhabi. And this was not long after they had filmed the one Fast and Furious there. And where this boat was parked was right near where they filmed a lot of the stuff. So that was fun. Trying to see if there's anything else. That's all the big stuff right there. Oh, here we go. I'll show this one. William Shatner was in an episode of either Twilight Zone or Outer Limits watching the creature. That was the Twilight Zone. There's a man on the wing in the plane. That was Twilight Zone. So this is me in front of the Burj Khalifa, the world's tallest building. I couldn't even get it all in the shot. And like the person who took it was literally on the ground. So there you go with that one. Oh, here we go. I'll show these. I'm just going through some of my old pics, showing you guys some of my old pics. So this was that same mosque. Very beautiful. Like they always have people. Like there's a carpet that you walk on, and this marble outside is always being polished. Like they put people out there all the time. As like if it rains, they don't do it, and then as soon as the rain's done, they're out there polishing it again. Yeah, that one didn't come out. That's me inside it there. That was the hotel I stayed in, the view. So this hotel right here, this is where they did Fast and the Furious. And this picture, Fast and Furious 5, I think it was. This picture was from my hotel balcony. So this was my view. This didn't come in, but all this is Swarovski crystal and Tiffany sterling silver, I remember, and gold. If I'm correct, I remember it was Swarovski and Tiffany. But yeah, I was using my phone and it didn't come out that well. Yeah, so there we go. Just a couple fun picks there. So I really enjoyed journalism. I really enjoyed sports journalism. That is fun because you can get drunk. I can't tell you how many things where I had to take Ubers home and come back later for my car, just because I would go and just be having a good time. Uh, so yeah, that was there's some good pictures here of stuff. Okay, I gotta remember to come get some of these. Make sure I get these saved on my phone. But I'm about to do some writing and content creation for the week. Yeah, I'm gonna end this here. I think we had fun today. Make sure everyone subscribe to Minnesota Black Robe Regiment. That story's coming out. You're gonna see the full video of everything. Yeah, and from what I've seen of it, TC does a great job. He's very thorough. Yeah, very good. So yeah, make sure you guys check that out. Also, make sure you check out AVA. He's got videos. He's going to be coming out on it. And so yeah, you'll want to watch it and get their perspective. I think you'll enjoy it. You'll be shocked. You will absolutely be shocked. You will not believe what our government is allowing, that they have proof of, and what they're allowing. It's shocking. For people who've never been in government, it's very shocking. For those who've been in government, you're going to be like, these dummies are doing it again. So that'll be interesting. Oh, thank you, Buck Naked. Thank you. Thank you for the $5.
I like money.
I do appreciate that. Once we have all the stuff for Robert's Amazon wish list, we're going to be pushing that out. Yep. If you come over, give some subscribers to both TC and AVA. Here's links. And you're going to want to watch this today, 6:30. So it should be after the Hales do their lives. So check it out. Check 6:30 Eastern time, 5:30 Central. Yeah, it'll be really good. So thank you, folks, for all being here. I appreciate you. I appreciate all the questions, comments. Please give a like, share this out, subscribe, all that good stuff if you're not already. And as always, thank you for being worth serving.
Coffee brewing as the sun peeks through the haze. Birds are chirping, serenading morning's praise. Front porch creaks as dreams fade away. America's awakened to a brand new day. Old vinyl spinning a sweet old tune. Day starts dancing under a sleepy moon. Whose print smudges on fingers of grace. America's awakened at her own steady pace. Sips of sunshine in a coffee cup. Simple moments lifting spirits up. From the mountains to the sandy shore. Morning in America, want just a little more. Neighbors waving with a friendly rise. Kids with backpacks chasing daylight skies. Eyes cooling on a windowsill so fine. America's awakened with a heart full of shine. Old vinyl spinning a sweet old tune. Day starts dancing under a sleepy moon. Newsprint smudges on fingers of grace. America's awakened at her own steady pace. Sips of sunshine in a coffee cup. Simple moments lifting spirits up. From the mountains to the sandy shore. Morning in America, wanting just a little more. Neighbors waving with a friendly rise. Kids with backpacks chasing daylight skies. Eyes cooling on a windowsill so fine. America's awakened with a heart full of shine. Neighbors waving with a friendly rise. Kids with backpacks chasing daylight skies. Eyes cooling on a windowsill so fine. America's awakened with a heart full of shine. Tractors rumble, fields coming alive. Big wheels turning where hopes and dreams strive. Laughter echoes down the old dirt road. America's awakened to lighten her load. America's awakened to lighten her load.